Well, what I'm doing here, basically, I just want to learn more about the industry, and it seems like this is the place to go to. And I want to meet people and see directly from them what their take is on where audio and voice is heading, and just have fun, hang out.
Hang out.
Yeah.
It's all about hanging out. High five.
Second high five.
Second high. Where can people go to learn more about your company?
TinityAudio.AI.
TinityAudio.AI.
And we have a blog which people can also listen to.
Nice.
Using the Trinity Audio player.
Awesome.
Yeah, and a YouTube channel so people can also check it out. And we're very much all across social media.
Sweet. And they're a sponsor for Crack the Code, which starts on Wednesday, January 15th. We're going to give away good prizes in there.
Which, by the way, that's part of the reason that I'm here, because it's that stuff that I think is the future of marketing in general. Like, I think marketing and audio go hand in hand, and I think this is where marketing is going. So such contests like you're doing, I think that's exactly where the future of marketing is, because people are engaging in that sense, and I haven't seen anybody else do it, so I think you're a pioneer there.
Awesome. Well, we're so happy to have you. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be so happy to have you as a sponsor, so thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
And I think the listeners are going to have a great time. So, awesome. Sure. Way to go. So, yeah, what should we talk about? Trinity Audio.
We already did.
We already talked about it. We already captured half of it. That's good.
So do you want me to just dive straight to recording?
We can dive to recording, and then we can just kind of see where the conversation goes and chat and that sort of stuff. Yeah. And then I'll get you to record something specifically for my podcast as well. So.
Oh, that wasn't for the podcast before?
That's for, I don't know what that's going to be for. It's going to be for something, but I'm also going to get you to record the audio on my phone that I can then just like directly put into the podcast. You have a podcast or you're doing a blog. No, sorry, not a podcast. You're doing a blog for Trinity Audio.
Yeah.
So what's this blog about?
You haven't looked?
Tell me the blog. No, like this particular post that you want to capture content on. What's this? What's the post about?
2020.
Okay, predictions for 2020. So what's the idea here? You're gonna get lots of people to tell you what they're thinking about 2020.
Get like insights from people who understand from behind the scenes about how you see the industry and where it's heading.
Mine's easy. Trinity Audio is gonna be number one.
That's so true. That's mine too.
No, that's great. I think that's a really good topic. Are you recording right now? You are. You're set. Yeah. Okay. So 2020, my vision for 2020 in voice.
Yeah.
It's a tough one because there's so much happening. Like there's so many different ways you can go with it. I think one, like at a very sort of basic level, is that I think voice and more people are going to start to realize that it's the new operating system. So as we've gone from, if we really want to go way back, MS-DOS, which was just an operating system with typing, to a graphical user interface with Windows, to touchscreen, to mobile, and then to the most seamless operating system is going to be voice. And now, at least in the United States, I think the last stat that I saw was that about 50% of homes have access. No, am I saying that right? I hope I'm not quoting that wrong. There's a big percentage of homes have access to a smart speaker right now in the US.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure if it's 50% or not. Anyway, the point is, it may be even more. So the point is a lot of people have access to it, and more people are talking to computers, talking to their voice assistants, and so voice is going to become the next operating system. It's innate, that's how we talk, it's efficient, it's the most quickest way to communicate, you can multitask. The thing that I have started to realize as I started to think about this is that there's different ways of communicating. There's nonverbal communication, which is just like reading each other's facial expressions, that sort of thing. There is written communication, of course, which is you have to read it. And then when you compare that to verbal communication, when we talk about voice, it's the only form of communication where you don't actually have to be looking or focusing your attention on something. Nonverbal communication, I have to be looking at your face. Written communication, I obviously have to be looking at a written word. Verbal communication or voice technology, I can be doing anything and I can still use the technology.
And yet it's the most authentic.
Absolutely, and that's another really, really important part of it, is it's extremely authentic and contextual because you can hear the emotion in my voice. And like if my son comes home and he says to me, and I say to him, like, how was your day? And he goes, it was great, right? I know it wasn't great. And you can't do that.
You can't fake your voice.
You can't fake that
but you don't want to be friends with people who can fake their voice. They're sociopaths.
It's true. So you're absolutely right. I totally agree with that. Voice is the authentic way that you can communicate with someone. So I just think that voice is actually becoming the next operating system, and then we're going to be seeing people leverage that technology with all the new technologies. So Trinity, being built on voice as the operating system. I think that's where we're going.
What about marketing-wise? Because I think I'm not sure how aware you are of yourself being actually ahead of the curve there.
So, well, absolutely. I think marketing is going to be leveraging voice to a huge degree because, again, the world is transitioning to a voice-first world. It's not voice only, but voice-first world. So as we, as consumers, start to engage with technology through voice, naturally there are going to be ways that marketers are going to be looking at getting out their message. And so I think this is what you're referring to. One of the things that I'm doing is I'm looking at how you can use Alexa Flash briefings as a way to market. And I'm actually giving a talk on this. I believe so much in flash briefings because it's almost like the new way of podcasting, the new social media, the new whatever. If somebody felt they missed the boat on something, this is so early, and yet it is so authentic, as you said, and it's very easy to do, and it's a way that somebody can now get a message out to an audience, regardless if you're a brand, if you're a company, if you're a nonprofit, if you just have a hobby, you want to share your passion. This is a way that you can get into that person's routine on a daily basis and talk to them. And then the question becomes, well, how does a company or how does a marketer leverage that? Because I think there are good ways and there are not so good ways of doing it. If you're going to, invade that very intimate personal time with a long ad, I don't think that's a good way of doing it. It's going to take away from the experience and people are going to stop listening to that. However, if you can be creative and find interesting ways to leverage the technology, then I think that's a different story. And what I've tried to do and experimented with, and I think it's shown that it's worked very well, is actually creating a game for people to play and having the opportunity for companies to come in and support that experience and to sponsor that, as Trinity Audio is doing. And so for me personally, they're playing a flash briefing game. They listen to the flash briefing, I give them content, they try to solve a little puzzle or clue. Obviously, I mean, this is just the beginning, so there's lots of creative ways you can do this.
Yes.
But they solve a clue and then they listen to, and then they play with an Alexa skill. They give the answer. If they got the answer right, they get a little piece of the puzzle and they put it all together and they can win prizes. And it's not direct advertising in the sense that it's not a company out there giving their one-liner. It's an engaged consumer that wants to play this game, and by playing it, they're getting exposure to the company, which it's a win-win for everybody then. It's a win-win for everybody. So I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited to continue to experiment with that. I've seen incredible results. I've seen my exposure on Twitter, my Twitter impressions went up over 2,100% the last time I did that.
Wow.
And my Alexa enablements of the flash briefing doubled. I had 20% increase in the number of times it was listened to on a daily basis. Like the results were pretty incredible. They blew me away. I wasn't expecting that. And so I think there's a lot there and there's a lot more to experiment with, and I'm really excited about that.
I love it. Thank you so much.
So you're welcome. Thank you for having me. Is that kind of what you wanted?
It's even better, like I'm realizing that maybe the way I'm going to approach this is actually to do sort of innovative blog posts where we're going to actually embed audio snippets into it, and then have a TLDR of what you said, but to enable people to listen to the TLDR through the player, but then to the actual recording on the post.
Okay.
Do something interesting here.
Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. It's very, very cool.
Do you think you would have time and motivation? Yeah, that's good. To maybe write a guest blog post for us about walking people through how to set up something simple on a briefing so that they can get people to engage with their brand.
Do you mean to do like the game that I did?
For example, but even something simpler, because I have to admit, I don't know how to do what you just said. It doesn't sound to me like it's rocket science, but I
have a post that just came out on Social Media Examiner. It tells you exactly how to do it. It tells you exactly how to do it. The URL is alexancanada.ca/voice funnel. Because it's basically a voice marketing funnel. I know. So how do I?
A little version of it, like a even simpler one.
Yes, I gotta be like I have to be like Gary Vee, and I can't promise something I can't deliver on. So
no, of course.
So at this point, let me say maybe, because it depends on my timing. But if I can do it, then I'd love to do it.
Consider it.
But let me consider it and let me think about it. And then
on Social Media Examiner, that's fantastic.
It's on Social Media Examiner.
So that's why you also know Mary Smith, because I think she's a huge contributor there.
She's a contributor there. I knew about her because I also followed other marketers and stuff in the space to see what they're doing, because a lot of it is kind of I'm big into right now. I really want to build the community because I know there's a lot of talk about that, and so. that's something that I've been thinking a lot about. In my podcast today, I sort of said, like, we need a community name, so I announced that, like, because most of my market, at least for the Alexa in Canada, obviously is in Canada, we've come up with the name Northern Voice. So now when I can refer to the community, it's like, hey, Northern Voice. Like,
yeah, winter's coming.
So
snow.
no, actually, it was snowing in Vancouver, which is kind of rare just recently.
Oh, okay.
But on the West Coast, we're kind of shaded. These other guys here from Toronto, he knows about snow. Yeah, I really want to build a community. So we've got the Facebook group. I want to really engage them. I want to be creative with actually bringing them into my show and highlight people that are doing cool things with the voice technology as part of our community.
That we can do to help. Then
so
love to.
That's great.
And also just happy to brainstorm with you how to make it happen.
Okay, well that's awesome. I love that we have this partnership already. We've already done some sponsorships and we've got this. Like it's really good.